pineapple. Let's say that I'm living the American dream.
Different cultures, rich in history, traditions, and pride.
My parents immigrated from Mexico. I was thankfully born here in the United States, and I say thankfully because I have all these opportunities that are presented to me, but I'm happily Mexican American.
Made up of a diverse group of individuals from different countries, backgrounds, and walks of life.
I didn't speak any English, so I just knew the number from 1 to 10, and I knew how to say yes to everything. So you can say you are the ugliest guy in the world. I was yes, 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 yes.
All with a common goal of bringing new flavors to the Carolinas to carry on their family legacy.
So we decided, let's bring a little bit of Peru to here with the flavors. And of course, I put my touch. That's why Viva Chicken became what it is right now.
Straight from a hot pan to a plate, they're giving you a seat at their table and serving up the diverse dishes that make up the inspiring culture of Hispanic people.
Yeah, so that's our al pastor. Good memories, like when you were sitting on the family table on Sundays with your grandmom, your uncles, your cousins, and they cook a meal for everybody.
Queen City News is honored to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Queen City News. I'm John Lee. For the next 30 minutes, we're bringing you the unique stories that make up Hispanic and Latino cultures in the Carolinas in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. Celebrated each year from September 15th through October 15th, the month is a chance for people in the U.S. to learn about and celebrate the contributions of Hispanics. The group includes people whose ancestors come from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. Before there was National Hispanic Heritage Month, there was Hispanic Heritage Week. That was created through legislation sponsored by Mexican-American U.S. Representative Edward R. Roybal of Los Angeles and signed into law in 1968 by President Lyndon B. Johnson. The week-long commemoration was expanded to a month 2 decades later with legislation signed into law by President Ronald Reagan. Now, for 30 days, every year, festivities take place across the country, including the Queen City, to celebrate each culture's unique differences when it comes to music, art, and other cultural touchstones, and food. Cuisine is a big part of Latin, Spanish, and Hispanic cultures. Food brings people together not only to feed their stomachs, but also to unite loved ones and keep family traditions alive. That brings us to our first story. A Colombian-born baker who opened the first Latin bakery in the Queen City. He may be known for his decadent desserts, but perhaps the sweetest part is his devotion to making the world a better place. Manolo Betancourt is a firm believer in the power of flour.
No, this is gonna be pretty. This is life, man. You see? Bread is, the Bible talks about the bread of God.
The owner of Manolo's Bakery says his success has been a godsend. The cases in the bakery give customers an appetizing look at their bread, pastries, and cakes. When Manolo's opened 27 years ago, it was the first Latin bakery in Charlotte.
Gracias.
When he started, he saw more than just a business opportunity.
I was very concerned about my children and the children of my immigrant community, that they don't identify themselves with the culture of the backgrounds of their parents.
He was born and raised in Colombia. As a young man, he served in the Navy. Then he came to America to begin his second life.
I didn't speak any English, so I just knew the number from 1 to 10, and I knew how to say yes to everything. So you can say you are the ugliest guy in the world. I was yes, 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 yes.
He started with $900 in his pocket, and today, Manolo's yearly sales have reached $1 million.
It really hurts me and makes me sad when I hear people that they are no longer believing in the American dream.
The icing on the cake is his sense of humor. But Manolo is even better known for his sense of community, giving back in all kinds of ways. For example, he donates birthday cakes to the homeless.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I think every single business in the universe should be doing something for community. It should be a law.
He gave even more during the pandemic.
We deliver more than 50,000 meals through local non-profits, church. I'm gonna be forever a baker in Ukraine.
And he's also raised money to help people in war-torn Ukraine. Manolo says his effort to rebuild bakeries there has a ripple effect.
I said, well, what about if I support local bakeries? So if I support a bakery in Ukraine, I'm gonna make sure that the community is gonna have bread in their bellies. If you have food in your belly, man, your spirit is still alive.
He believes philanthropy across the globe is his calling and responsibility.
We are a rich nation and there's too many rich people here. We should be doing a little bit more. You know, less complain and more action, man.
That philosophy gave him the formula for a true measure of success.
You know, I donate, I give something back to the community, man, and I keep receiving more and more blessings.
A lesson learned by breaking bread with those less fortunate. And along with the bakery, Manolo is also in the coffee and gelato business. His successes give him even more motivation to help people across the world. From sweet treats to a rotisserie joint. If you live in the Charlotte area, you've probably heard of Viva Chicken. The chain brings the authentic taste of Peruvian rotisserie chicken to the Carolinas. The man behind the successful business has built a small empire in the Queen City and beyond. Chef Bruno Machiavello employs hundreds at 16 eateries, and he's got even more restaurant concepts in the years ahead. All of them offer the diverse dishes of Peru.
Food is my passion. This is what I do.
The language of comfort food is universal. Since 2013,
We do here everything we love.
Viva Chicken has served a Peruvian staple. It's called Pollo La Brasa, rotisserie chicken.
What makes your chicken so good?
Me.
Good answer. Good answer.
This recipe has been in my family for almost 60 years.
This is where the fiery magic happens, in an oven brought in from Peru, where Bruno Machiavello first learned his love language.
So we decided let's bring a little bit of Peru to here with the flavors. And of course I put my touch. That's why Viva Chicken became what it is right now.
He's taken the best part of his native land's food culture, turning those influential bites into businesses here in Charlotte via Viva Chicken and his other ventures.
When I come in one of the Viva Chickens or Junta or any other business that I own, the smells of the food, it reminds me of my childhood. So I get, very emotional when I smell that.
As an entrepreneur, he's not afraid to fire up new ideas.
I'm opening a chicken sandwich in December.
You are?
Yeah, here.
Coming soon to Charlotte's South End.
We're gonna open this new sandwich place. It's gonna be called La Lima, like the capital city of Peru. We're gonna be doing the classic Peruvian sandwich, like the chicharrón, butifarra, plus all the heritage that we have from different countries.
This small empire seemed improbable when Bruno came to America with $200 in his pocket. He began his career at the Showmars chain, which gave him a crash course in business and people skills.
I started working for this amazing human being, which is Mr. C. He's the owner of Showmars, and he's an amazing person. He's like my mentor. He taught me so much.
Along with representing his culture at Viva Chicken, he strives to build a positive work culture that cares about employees, customers, and the community. It doesn't matter if you've ever been to Lima. He says there's something about chicken roasted the Peruvian way that speaks to everyone.
Charlotte is my city now. America is my country. But I want to bring that flavor from Peru. I want to bring it here. I want everybody to enjoy it.
Chef Bruno has another Peruvian restaurant debuting next year. For now, he's keeping that one a secret.
Good memories, like when you were sitting on the family table on Sundays with your grandma, your uncles, your cousins, and they cook a meal for everybody.
A Charlotte man's climb from dishwasher to chef is the American dream he never imagined. Why old family recipes are like authentic flavor bombs that make his dishes stand out. Plus, pride on a plate. A Charlotte food truck vendor follows in his father's footsteps. and carries on his family legacy in a savory way. You're watching Queen City News as we honor the cultures and contributions of Hispanic and Latin Americans during this Hispanic Heritage Month. And as we head to break, did you know Hispanics are the country's fastest growing racial or ethnic minority? According to the latest census estimates, there are more than 65 million people identified as ethnically Hispanic in the U.S. That is 19.5% of the total population. There are 13 states, including North Carolina, with 1 million or more Hispanic residents. Queen City News is honoring the histories, cultures, and contributions of Hispanic and Latin American communities. Did you know more than 60% of Hispanics or Latinos aged 16 and up had jobs in 2023? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the percentage of employment for Hispanics and Latinos has been higher than the ratio for the total U.S. population for the last 2 decades. In 2000, the employment population ratio for Hispanics and Latinos was 65.7%, slightly exceeding the national average. The gap between the groups widened in 2023, with the ratio for Hispanics or Latinos decreasing to 63.8%. For a Mexican-born man who immigrated to the U.S., a dishwasher job turned into something more than he ever dreamed of. The idea of being a chef was beyond his wildest dreams, but he learned the ropes in Charlotte's kitchens for more than a decade, and that gives him the empowering recipe for an American success story.
Every morning we make fresh tortillas.
At Maíz Agua Sal in Lower Tuck, a tortilla machine churns out the foundation for many great Mexican dishes.
This machine actually comes from Mexico City.
Beyond the machinery, it's nostalgia that fuels the vision of executive chef Omar Garcia. He grew up in central Mexico. His daily mission is to deliver the vibrant flavors of Mexico City to his customers.
Good memories, like when you were sitting on the family table on Sundays with your grandma, your uncles, your cousins, and they cook a meal for everybody.
From huevos rancheros to classic tacos to chiles en nogada, a stuffed poblano chili dish served in September to celebrate Mexico's Independence Day. Long before his career began to sizzle, he came to the U.S. in 2008 willing to take any job he could find. His first restaurant gig at 19 was as a dishwasher. Omar didn't even consider being a chef.
Honestly, I did not, because my English was so bad, like horrible. But I started learning more the language, I started being involved more in the kitchen, and that's how everything started.
His career path was surprising to his family back home, considering he was hardly in the kitchen.
What do they think when you became an executive chef in a restaurant?
Well, first thing they think is like, no way, like, how you cooking? You never been involved about. I learned by looking, by watching them.
He collaborates with wife Janet. In fact, that's her making the tortillas.
So she's like, oh, let's do this, let's try this. So she brings the ideas and I put it together with the technique and all the process, and here we are.
Chef Garcia says Janet's family mole negro sauce recipe gives him an authentic flavor bomb made with ingredients like chocolate, peppers, and banana. It's the star of Enmoladas de Pollo.
It's my way to show where I came from and my family, all the recipes we have from my grandmother, my wife's family.
He's obviously come a long way since his dishwasher days. In 15 years, Chef Garcia has learned a lot about himself, hoping his story will light a fire under others.
Let's say that I'm living the American dream.
Chef Garcia says no matter what your job title is, keep asking questions and keep learning. That has certainly done wonders for him.
Yeah, so that's our al pastor, and that's going to be our carne asada.
A culinary treasure passed along for generations, a food vendor combines lessons from his father with his love for cooking to create decadent dishes in the Queen City. You're watching Queen City News as we honor the cultures and contributions of Hispanic and Latin Americans during this Hispanic Heritage Month. They say you are what you eat. Well, Hispanic cuisine is pride on a plate and conveys culture in the tastiest way. For one food truck vendor in uptown Charlotte, serving authentic tacos is his way of carrying a family legacy.
Food is a vehicle for flavor.
So the name of our business is Taqueria El Flaco, and we specialize in Tijuana-style tacos, so carne asada, adobada al pastor, chorizo. This is our carne asada, yeah, grilled steak.
For Nason Gonzalez Grimaldo, every taco gives him a chance to share his culture in a delicious way. And that's the meat of the matter at Tacos El Flaco.
You'd be surprised how many people haven't had an authentic taco in the city.
He works with his sister Mara. In the truck, a photo of their father is a constant reminder that with great food comes great responsibility. Their culinary treasure has been passed along for generations.
You see by my shirt, this is my dad's logo that he had back in the day.
His father Cesar owned and operated Taqueria Los Tres Potrillos from the early 2000s to 2011.
He was one of the first taco trucks, taco food trucks in general here in the city.
He learned a lot about the business from his dad and his mom, Maria. He also acquired a taste for talking to customers about his cuisine.
And that's just something that I enjoy doing, you know, explaining to people what a true taco is and just seeing their reaction to it.
In 2022, Nason took the family torch and opened Tacos El Flaco. His work ethic, the product of his parents.
Yeah, at an early age, I would see them work. I would see my dad, both of them, my mom and dad, you know, try to go after this dream.
Now it's his turn at the window of opportunity.
Yeah, so that's our al pastor, and then that's going to be our carne asada.
Nason is a native Charlottean and first-generation Mexican-American.
My parents immigrated from Mexico to the United States. I was thankfully born here in the United States, and you know, I say thankfully because I have all these opportunities that are presented to me, but I'm happily Mexican-American.
He gave us the skinny on the business name Flaco. It means thin.
So my parents, you know, that's just the nickname they gave me. A lot of Mexican households are accustomed to give their kids like nicknames, Gordo, Flaco.
The nickname stuck, and so did his passion for the food business.
I would go to sleep, my parents were still working, getting ready for the weekend, and I would wake up and they were still, you know, working, getting ready.
At 23, his menu takes customers on a culinary road trip.
It's like we mainly work uptown, so we see a lot of different people, a lot of different kinds of people, and just being able to show them that authentic take on a Mexican food is just very special to us, and that's just what we want to do.
Before he even gets to his taco truck, Nason works a full day in the underground utility industry. Another example of world-class work ethic he got from his folks. You're watching Queen City News as we honor the cultures and contributions of Hispanic and Latin Americans during this Hispanic Heritage Month. Queen City News is honoring the histories, cultures, and contributions of Hispanic and Latin American communities. Did you know Spanish is the next most dominant spoken language in the U.S. after English? Roughly 13% of all people 5 years and over speak Spanish in the country. That's more than 40 million people. Over the last 30 minutes, we've introduced you to people in our community sharing their culture through hot meals. Hispanic cuisine is just as diverse as the people who enjoy it, but there's so much more to celebrate than just food this Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanic music has also had a long-lasting impact in American society, and the Charlotte Symphony took those sounds that are rich in Latino influence to the streets in its neighborhood concerts.
A night at the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra doesn't have to be in a music hall uptown. The Roadshow series exposes a whole new audience to the symphony, including the Hispanic community. The Latin American Coalition hosted the group's debut performance with their mobile stage.
They were looking for places to reach out and play and reach out, meet the community where they're at, and we are here. That's how we came together.
Taking the music on the road gives traditionally underserved communities the orchestra experience.
The fact that it was also a Latin American artist that designed the the graphic for the stage is so colorful, so vivid. It's beautiful as well.
It's the work of Rosalia Torres Weiner.
As a Mexican artist, I'm giving voice to not just the Latino community, but everyone. You know, you'll see a very diversity design on my the vinyl wrap.
By doing so, she also pays homage to her heritage.
My grandfather was a conductor in Mexico City, and he left an instrument to each one of his grandchildren, and I got the flute, and I learned how to play it. So music has always been a part of my artistic journey.
The Traveling Concert Series takes the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra to venues across the Queen City, making new connections through music.
As we're diversifying more in Charlotte, it gives us the opportunity to eat different types of food, to listen to different types of music, to meet different types of people, and that makes us a better community, a better country. It's exactly what America is about.
Charlotte FC has a growing Hispanic and Latin fan base. The club celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month at its Por la Cultura match. Flags from Spain and Latin America were on display, along with arts and crafts and a photo booth for fans. Hispanic Heritage Month runs through October 15th, so you still have time to celebrate. Tonight, Camp North End is hosting Latin Night. There will be live music and authentic food and dancing. The event starts at 5. Thank you for joining us as Queen City News honors the Hispanic community's many contributions to the Carolinas. I'm John Lee.